Thursday, the 23rd day in the month of May 2024, and it's Galaxy Television. The program is Family and Values. My name is Olori Adejoke Adobe David. My friends call me Olori 80. Now, I want to remind you that you don't have to compare your day one to someone's day 100. Your own day one, you're starting something for the first time. Don't compare it to someone's 100 days of doing something. You are just taking your first day out. You may not get to 100 before things start working out for you, but don't ever compare, because life is it's not all about competition. It's all about you developing and growing. Today is a healthy Thursday, and that's what we do here on Family and Values every Thursday. We talk about how you need to keep your well-being, what you need to do, how you need to put your life together. As much as you're making the money, you're trying to build your life, getting yourself settled with a partner, or you're already in a relationship. Yes, you also need to look out for your well-being. So how well have you been living? Have you been looking out for your health checkups, regular treatments that it is needed to help you to stay healthy, so that you will not compound your life with so much at the same time? We're looking at Healthy Talk this morning, and I'm not going to do that alone. That's why I said we. When I say we, I mean we are two. I have Joy Apple right here, sitting next to me, all looking fuchsia, pinky, and all that. Tying scarf.
This time around, you want to do first to attack.
Yeah, no, it's not attack. I'm admiring
that's
the personality, you know, behind Joy Apple this morning.
You're not going to talk about how you look, so you decided to come first for me. Okay, good morning. You look great. Good morning to our esteemed viewers. Yes, it's a bright Thursday. It's Healthy Thursday, and when we come on your screens on Thursday, you know, we always look different and try to keep fit. So for whatever reason, Thursdays are always at the back of my mind. Hey, today is Thursday, keep healthy. Right. And the good thing is, it's good to always be healthy, because you never can tell circumstances that will need you to jump, to do something very quickly, and, you know, take away all the fatigue. Those of you that wake up and you're all fatigued, please try to do something concerning your health. That's why Family and Values is here. Welcome to Family and Values. Like we used to say, we are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes. Turn on your Facebook and X notifications so that you know when these beautiful faces are on your screen. My name still remains Joy Abu. Enjoy, because today is going to be very, very educative. Something different from what we usually do, but trust me, it still has to do with our health. So stay tuned while we continue the conversation.
Okay, stay tuned while we continue the conversation, and it's going to be something you need to look into when it comes to your kid, your child, your son, your daughter. That word that stays in your house, and even by your shout or by your scream alone, you know, feel like jittery, and, you know, go to bed and start peeing. That's another story. But sincerely, it's all about the well-being of your children. So we'll be going for a mini picture, and when we come back, we'll bring in our guests and the topic for today. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. It's the Galaxy Television, and the program is Family and Values. This morning, the family and the value area we're going is poor performance in academic, academic performance in a medical perspective. Looking at it from the area of a medical practitioner, putting all the, you know, dots together. You know, at times when you hear, this boy is not doing well in school, or maybe he does so much work, or he's so absent-minded, you give him so much responsibility at home. No. You watch too much movies. Have you ever had that, heard that, Joy?
A lot.
No, it's because the school is going, maybe they are not teaching him very well. Yeah. You know, we pay so much, and yet this boy comes home with, it's a private school, for crying out loud, and he still wait behind to, we have a private teacher, and blah, 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 blah. You want to know why this happens? Now we're looking at it from the perspective, it is not a spiritual thing now. Before you talk about spiritual, we're looking at the medical angle of it. And we have a medical doctor in the house who is going to help us do justice to this, in person of Dr. Kelvin Isibo. He is a GP, a medical practitioner. It's so good to see your smiling face.
Good morning.
His ebony is black, and what else again? He's always smiling and pleasant to look
The
at.
fact that today you didn't come
And he's not married, so the singles, please come and take
you
this
didn't come
money.
all suited in the doctor attire. You came more relaxed, like let's have
That's
this
why I'm calling
conversation.
the singles.
So that is why.
You can see he's looking responsible.
You know, other days, other Thursdays, you come in all seated. Like, okay, with this one, we are here for this thing. Today, we are more on a relaxing this thing.
Well, maybe because before now we usually talk about core medical practice,
now that's
but
what I'm saying. Today,
now it is practically core family values, what we encounter in the family.
So you came in your daddy attire.
Yes, yes.
Daddy attire. That's why you can see this day.
It's so good to have you.
Thank you.
Yes. It is.
Okay, so doctor, we're looking at poor academic performance.
Yes.
From the medical perspective, what is poor academic performance?
Well, poor academic performance can be defined as inability to perform intellectually up to 50% of what is expected of an individual as it pertains to the demographic of the individual. In the sense that what is required for a 20-year-old, for you to say, oh, this person is academically sound or intellectually sound, is not the same as what is required for a 3-year-old. So that is the demographic, one of it, age. It could be an occupation. For you as a TV presenter, what you are required to know, and for me as a doctor, what I am required to know, there are two different things. You know, you might know so much more than I do know about presenting and all of that, but are you performing up to 50% of what you need to know? You know, a child that is raised up in Mushin, Nigeria, and a child that is raised up in New York, USA, if I want to assess them, what is required will be different. If I pick a child from Ikale, Ondo State, and another one from England, if I want the assessment will be different. So if I use criteria that pertains to the one in England to assess the child from Ikale, Ondo State, I'm not doing a fair assessment. You know, there can be language barrier, you know, based on exposure. What have you been exposed to? If I never attended school in my life and you want to assess my academic prowess, you know, my academic status, you shouldn't use what was taught in the four walls of a school to assess me. That is why sometimes we see an uneducated man, an illiterate, giving birth to a very bright student. They'll say, and the father is an illiterate, but the child is very sound. How? What happened? You know, meaning the man is intelligent, but because he didn't go to school, he is not able to meet up to some of the things you want to look at. But if he's a farmer, and you compare him to other farmers, you will see the excellence in the man. If he's a cleaner, and you compare it to other cleaners, you will see the excellence that he has passed on to that child. So, ability to perform up to 50% of what is expected of an individual based on the demographic as it pertains to that individual. That is academic performance.
Okay, I love the general overview that you've given us, at least has given our viewers an insight onto what we are talking about. Now let's talk about something, bullying. Recently we've had a lot of videos about bullying, and there's been this campaign about let's stop bullying. I would just believe it's of recent in this part of the world, in Nigeria, that we started taking bullying serious, because a lot of us, even in schools, were bullied. But you know, but we didn't say it, we didn't speak out. Now, how common is bullying in this part of the world, in Nigeria now? And how does it affect the academic performance of a child from a doctor's perspective? Like, you are a medical doctor and you're seeing a child and you're looking at this child and no, maybe there's something the parents are not saying that you are saying. So how does bullying affect the academic performance of child?
Well, bullying is something that it dates back, you know, it has been happening for a very long period of time, but I think people are just becoming more aware. And the the surprising thing is we are focusing just on students bullying students. What about teachers bullying students? And it is very popular, we know, but we don't just classify it as bullying. Bullying does not have to be physical. It can be verbal. When you ask a child a question and he cannot answer the question, you start singing for the child, Olodo Rabata, Ojo Jaloma. It was common. We all experienced it at one point or the other. That is still part of bullying. You are traumatizing that child, emotionally, psychologically. And find out, most of the people you labeled as Olodo, what do they turn out to be? How has that helped them? Is it that, okay, after singing that song for them, does it make them better? Does it change their, there's no child that will sit down and the child will be like, I don't want to be intelligent. No child intentionally wants to be unintelligent. But why do we do this? And you start singing Olodo Rabata or Joja Lomanje. What does it? In fact, science has shown that if you have a class and you split the class into two groups, group A and group B, if a teacher walks into that class and say, oh, group A is the intelligent group, group B is the dull group, and you teach them for one semester or one term, you will find out that the people in group A will do better than the people in group B. It is psychological. You have told them already that you are better than the other people. So they tend to perform better because they already have that mindset that I am intelligent. I'm supposed to know this thing. When they read it, the outcome tends to be better. If another teacher comes in and says, oh, for this particular subject, group B is more intelligent than group A. So it is psychological. When you bully a child, you are telling the child that you are not up to standard. You are not good enough. And over time, they just accept it as their calling. And some of them will tell you, well, book is not my thing from the one. And, they are defeated mentally. So even before the real work, mentally they are gone. And it is very common when you see people now. Sometimes I see people now, and when we have a discussion, sometimes they come to the clinic. I'm like, oh, you are in what class? Say, oh, I just finished SS3. I'm preparing for JAMB. I say, oh, what do you want to study? Some will tell you, I want to do biology education. Say, why? Say, actually, I wanted to do medicine, but I don't think I'm able to. Like, why? Are you, are you disabled? Why do you think you cannot get it? Or they are mentally defeated. It is so common, and you have a child that wakes up in the morning and you say, okay, John, it's time for school, and the boy starts crying. It is a sign that the boy is being bullied in school. There is something the boy... Normally, a child is going to school. The child should be happy that I'm going to meet my friends and things like that. So it's been happening for a long time, and it is common. Both parents bully children, teachers bully, and their peers bully them too. So it's everywhere.
Yes. God will help us. I'm telling you, it's really deep.
So, JAMB released a certain first batch of their result like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Second batch was released last week. And, each time go through the social media and say, why won't you fail JAMB? Why won't you have this kind of people comment? See them. Why won't you fail JAMB? Are you surprised at the results that came out from JAMB? What do you think went wrong? Was it that the parents sent them for coaching and tried to prepare them for go through the tutorials, and at the end of the day, they came back home and like, Mommy, I'm sorry, this is what we got. Is it their fault? Is it JAMB's fault? Or what really happened?
Well, it is not a surprise. If you check over the years, ever since we moved to the computer base, now JAMB, it is more difficult to cheat in JAMB as compared to WAEC. And that is why we are seeing, grossly over 70% failure rate in JAMB. It gives us a state as to what the nation is. If you cannot have up to 50%.
I don't get it. Let's go for this break. We'll be right back. going to answer my question by the time it comes back. We come back. So let's take our word of mouth one of us. Let's hear what people have to say. We'll be right back.
Depends whether it's coming from the parents or from the school, depends. Because majority depends on where the child is learning fast from. Some children learn better at home, some children learn better in school. So it depends from where the child is learning more from.
It depends. Can be both the fault of the parents and the school as well. In terms of the parents, some parents actually don't show more concern about their children's academics. They are not actually interested in anything about their schooling. They just believe they are paying school fees, this child should do well. While in the aspect of the school, it depends on the school, because some schools actually the teachers are not actually performing very well. They just do their thing. And in terms of government school, let me use government school as an example. They just go, some of them go for their business and they don't care if the children are actually learning, or they don't even care about the performance of the children.
I wouldn't really want to blame it on either the parents or the school. I feel it's personal efforts, completely dependent on the child. Because I've seen a lot of children that have attended like the best schools ever and have had their parents give them everything they need, but they will still fail at every stage. And then I've seen children that have attended the worst schools, government, public schools actually, and I've seen them like do really, really good for themselves. So I feel it depends on the child. It has nothing to do with the school or the parents, even though hereditary is what plays like an important role. For example, if maybe the person's father or mother is very brilliant, hereditary, like just naturally, the child might be brilliant, but then it's still dependent on the child as to whether he's going to excel in school or not from his own personal effort. So I don't think it's from the efforts the parents put in or from the efforts that the school.
Okay, quite okay. They come from the both places, because you get to a point where you see say some teachers they actually give time, not like before, to actually see if the students they do well or not. They go put eye focus on those ones where they say they actually pick, then leave those ones behind. Then when it comes to the scores, they will give them their scores and just pass. They don't go ahead. Then when it comes to the parents also, the parents then actually look at their children's performance. It gets to a point where a child will return from school. Then immediately he comes, the mom will actually be like, son, bring your book, let me check what happened today, you understand? Or ask for assignments. But directly they will be like, Alpha, say you don't come back from school, start go do work, you understand? Or do this, do that. So they are not actually giving time to those students. They are not actually bringing them down to see if these students are actually doing well. If you are not actually, see the streets don't reach that level where they say, if you know they do well, they will not pass you. So you have to be sharp yourself. So parents don't actually have time for their children right now, and both the teachers, they don't actually have time for those children at this point.
I think it's the fault of the parents. I think it has to do more with how long the child spends in the house. Children spend more time in the house than in the school. So parents are to like focus and check what the children are doing in school. If they are performing well, if they are not, they can maybe look for home lesson teachers for them, or teach them themselves. So I think it's more of the parents than the school.
Welcome back. It's to Family and Values, and we've been discussing a poor academic performance from a medical perspective. We have with us Dr. Kelvin Isibo. So before going on that break, I was asking, are you surprised at the result released by JAMB? Are you surprised?
Not really.
Okay.
The result is a reflection of what the society is like.
What the society is like.
Yes, if you have about more than 70% unable to score above 200, it shows us the state of education in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And that is why I've taken time to address this topic. Every 4 years during the election, you hear somebody malpractice, fake results, even from our leaders. So the mistake we make is complaining our leaders, forgetting that our leaders are a subset of the society. So it shows us the level of poor academic performance in the society. I don't really count some other exams, because for me, JAMB is the first external exam, because when you write WAEC, you are writing it in your school. But when you are writing JAMB, you are you don't even know where your centers will be. You just pick, and you pick a location, and they throw you to one school that you don't know. You know, that is the first external exam, and it is giving us an idea of how bad. And now there's this popular slogan, school na scam, school na scam. You know, so when they are unable to meet up, you know, they try to just get the result. The point is not, getting the result. It is knowing what you are supposed to know. So I'm not surprised. I'm not at all.
Okay, now a lot has been going through my head, because someone listening would have said, oh, today is Thursday, we are supposed to be hearing some medical terms, and here we are having academic performance. Now, what's the correlation between you as a medical doctor here talking about academic performance? Are you talking based on experience, or because you've had a lot of people walk into clinics and you see that, oh, this child would have been, or it's just passion, you just feel like, aside the fact that I'm a medical doctor, I have academics, because I know that medical doctors read a lot. We can always say, medicine, we give people. You are always bukuru. That's how we call people. So is it because of the passion you have for reading, or that's what made you come up with this, this thing that we are discussing, academics with you? At least we should have seen one educationist, or is it one particular reference or something? What's the correlation between from a medical this thing to?
Well, there's an aspect of medicine that's focused on this topic. It's just that for years, doctors don't really talk much about it, because maybe because it's not, people don't pay much for it as people will pay for when they are sick, you know, for medical treatment. But there is an aspect of medicine dedicated to this, and it is labeled school health.
Wow,
yes,
hearing that for the first time.
Yes, yes, so a doctor is responsible for the performance of an individual academic, because many of the factors can be traced to medicine. Medically, you can find out many of the factors. That's one. And then also, learning is a process. It's a process that has several steps. If there is a dysfunction in any of the pathways, in any of the steps that involves learning, then there is a problem. Now it goes like this. It's a process, but a lot of people might just see it as, garbage in, garbage out. More or less like transportation, movements of goods and services, people from one place to another. But now, when it comes to learning, education, it is movement of information, either from an individual via observation to another individual. So the teacher is giving out information, the student is receiving information, so movement of information. Now, that is just one way. But now, if you look at it critically, scientifically, you have the information, somebody is giving out the information. The person giving out the information, which is the teacher or you are observing, the person must be sound enough to give you the right information and disseminate it well. If the teacher does not like you, you can't learn. If the teacher is not knowledgeable enough, the teacher has to be sound to give you the right information. Some people, it's not that they don't read. They read, but the information they have is not the correct information. They go to the exam and they fail. That's why they will tell you, they failed me. I've worked hard. I did everything my teacher told me and all of that, and still the outcome will not be the same. So it starts from the teacher. The teacher is giving information. Now, the person that wants to learn, you must be able to receive the information, either through your eyes, you are looking at, the board, the teacher is writing. If you have any problem with the eyes, the person cannot learn very well. Either the teacher is speaking and you are receiving via your ears, so the sensory system has to be intact. So you have the information itself, you have the receptors to receive the information, then you now have the brain to store the information. When the brain stores the information, that is one step. Now, when you have to solidify what you have stored, you have to convert it from a short-term memory to long-term memory. Yes, and there's a part of the brain that is responsible for that. We call the hippocampus. Okay. It is part of the limbic system. Wow. Now, it is during sleep. There's a particular stage of sleep, the REM stage of sleep, that the brain converts short-term memory to long-term memory.
Okay.
You know, now this is the first stage of learning. If there's problem in any of these pathways, the teacher is not competent, you have problem with your sensory system, you cannot receive the information, there is problem with storing information, brain problem and all of that, the person will not do well. So let us assume all that is intact. You have received the information well. The second stage is, it is not just you receiving the thing. You must be able to convince your examiner that you know this thing. So if I ask you that thing in the exam, you should be able, so the second stage is the feedback. You giving back what you know. So if I'm asking you to give back this thing, if you have problem with communication, let's say it's an oral exam, that's why they'll say, oh, some people finish with a first class, but they go for interview, no job, it's spiritual attack. No, you have issues with communication, you have problem with language. Is that taking? You must be able to express yourself well to show that, in fact, once you open, one professor will say, it is better for me to assume that you are a fool than for you to open your mouth to confirm it. Even the Bible said, a fool is thought wise when he's quiet. You know, so the moment you open your mouth, people will judge you. So it can be that the person is not that fluent in communication, language barrier. The person will fail that exam. If it's an oral exam, if it's an interview, the person will fail. The person might have bad handwriting. You know, people will be like, coming from a doctor. How dare you?
I was coming to that. How dare you talk about bad handwriting?
So it can be due to poor handwriting, you know, and the person will fail. They'll be like, it was this guy that did the tutorial for us, so what's going on? And this must be a spiritual attack. But you have to check, the handwriting, is it intact? You know, some people, it can be that some have exam anxiety. They are just afraid whenever they get to the hall. Self-esteem issues, like, am I competent enough? You know, they just have that fear. It's not because they don't know it, you know, and there are different guides that will help some people, they know it, they have good handwriting, they communicate well, but you are asked to answer 10 questions in an exam, and you answer just one very well. 1 out of 10 is failure already. You know, so the timing has to be there. The organization, we might know the same thing. And they say, talk about effect of diabetes. I can start from the brain, you know, from the head, and I'm going sequentially down. My points are well arranged. You talk about the brain, you talk about the kidney, you talk about the leg, you talk about the heart, you know, your points are scattered. I look more intelligent, and somebody can follow my points sequentially because I'm going from one step to the other. You know, so you must have the knowledge, accuracy. Some people are just prone to mistakes, you know. So it is the duty of a doctor to address some of all these issues, and that is why I've taken time and I've seen that a lot of people have this problem, but they are not aware where the problem is coming from. Some people will read, you know, and they say, I get to the exam mode, there's just, you know, I was just blank. But you did not sleep well. I was asking somebody that if you have a fat person and a slim person, who do you think will be academically sound? Virtually everybody I asked said the fat person, the slim person. You know, I said, and what could be the reason? Say, I don't know, just, you know, from observation. I said, I said, okay, between the fat person and the slim person, who is likely to snore? He said, come on, the fat person. Hey. I said, the snoring, we know a lot of people snore and we make fun of it. Like, you just snore like tiger generator, you know, and we just laugh. But what is the effect of that snoring? Snoring just means the person is not getting enough air into the airway at least 10 seconds. The period you are not getting enough air into the airway and you need it for the brain to function well, the person will have to wake up from sleep, go back again. After some time, the airway collapses and the person will have to wake up, go back. But you need to sleep maybe about 3 to 4 hours before you enter the REM stage of sleep, so that you'll be able to convert short-term memory to long-term memory.
Wow.
So the person that snores, one, the person is not able to convert short-term memory to long-term memory. That's one. Two, the person that snores did not even get a quality sleep. So the person goes to school the next day and the person is tired. The teacher is teaching, the person is dozing. You say, John, if it is to eat now, you will eat. But once they open book, you start sleeping. And things like, so the person is not doing well because he's not able to pay attention. The person is tired. you know. Now, even when the person is not able to convert short-term memory to long-term memory, and you know, so there are several factors, and there are different medical conditions that will make a child not do well. I remember many years ago, I used to do like school programs and things like that. I went to one school to conduct eye tests for them. I saw a girl that was not doing well, you know, and maybe her position in class, she was 20th position or so. After the eye test, we gave her glasses, and the next time she came third, just correcting glasses. And parents will not see this thing. You just know that, you notice that, oh, the child is just, anytime he wants to watch something, is in front, he will sit on the floor, close to the TV. That's a clue that something might be wrong. I saw another child, everybody was playing somewhere, the child was just close to the window, and the eyes were open like this, you know. And the teacher, being the lovely teacher, was saying, Wura, don't do that, you are a fine girl, I've told you not to open your eyes, close your eyes, it does not make you look fine. And I was just laughing, and I asked the woman, I said, does she sweat a lot? The woman said yes. I said, but she likes to play, she's very active. She said yes, and the eyes were bulging, you know. And I looked at the child, did some assessment, I said, this child has Graves' disease now. And the teacher was like, what's Graves' disease? You know, children with Graves' disease, they have hyperthyroidism, the thyroxine level is high, and because of that, they are very active, they are playing, things like that. And the eyes will be bulging, they are always sweating, they are active. You see them, they like different activities. They say, who will play football, they will come out. Who will do high jump, they will come back. There. Athletics, who will run, they will come. A relay, they will come out. Singing, they will, you know, so they are jack of all trades, master of none. They do everything. Why? The thyroxine is responsible for activity. Now, because it is excess, that child is hyperactive. You know, so I wrote a letter to the parent and say, okay, from assessment, though it was supposed to be like a regular eye test, but with assessment, I've noticed your child has Graves' disease and all of that. Take the child for proper care. And the parents were even angry that, why do you have to call the attention of the teachers that my child is sick? So they will prefer the public is not aware that the child is sick, and rather, why not fix the problem? You know, and allow that child to live a normal life. And you see some children, they are playing, they don't have Graves' disease, but they have something we call ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is commoner in boys. They are just playing everywhere. You know, they will not sit in one place. Even when you want to teach, they will not sit still. They are drawing somebody, pulling somebody, and they say, leave, and so boys they do. This one playing. Go and see my first son. Now, so they play like goats, like ram, up, you know. And we joke with, but if you allow a psychiatrist to evaluate some of these children, you will discover that some of them have ADHD and they will not perform well. You know, so I realize that a lot of people don't know so much about these things, you know. And even for parents, parenting style, not everybody delivers. So there are several factors. I don't even know where to start from. And that is why I say, okay, I wrote a book on this, poor academic performance from a doctor's perspective, you know, because I feel people have a lot to learn from it, you know, and that is where it's coming from.
Wow, okay. I've actually learned a lot.
Time is so short.
I've actually learned a lot.
Like those who get to the exam hall and just feel at it, you know, there's this fear that comes into them and everything just disappears. What can be done? For instance, because you have given us all the facts and what we need to notice, but for someone like that, many students will say, if the mother, the stepmother, she did that thing. That one will get to the example. You see that he falls sick on that day and blah, blah, blah. So, for instance, such a child, a student, what can the parents do to him and to assist?
Well, most of the time, when people get to the exam and they find themselves blank, usually it's anxiety. If you have read, not somebody that did not read and you find yourself, but somebody that has read, you know? And you know that thing, but for one reason or the other, you just cannot remember. You know, sometimes the person is anxious, relax, you know, and maybe the person is even afraid of that subject. Am I able to pass the subject and all of it? It must have happened to all of us at one point or the other. So. But relax, look at the whole class and tell yourself, if 50% will pass, you know. I remember in my second professional exam, I wanted to do one course on community health, and I experienced something like that because the exam is for 2 weeks. You are 2 weeks, you start maybe 8 in the morning, finish 6 in the evening, 2 weeks stretch, and you are tired, you know. And once you leave that place, in fact, most of the time, you don't even have time to eat. So if you go to the fellowship, any association you belong to, they will buy food to come and give you. We call it exam brethren in Lutz then. You know, so because of the stress and everything, fatigue, you can forget things and all of that. Just relax. You know, it happened in one of my, relax, look at, you have to build your confidence back and remove that anxiety. Like, look at the people that you are better than in that class. It might not be a good technique, but look at them and say, if they want 50% in this class, am I not better than A? Am I not better than B? Am I not better than C? You know, I can do this, you know. Relax, you know, and tell yourself, I have read. If you read, you can pass an exam. You are bringing back your confidence. Relax. Another technique is, when you look at your question paper, there are some you will see that will throw you off balance. Focus on the questions you know. Those ones will reassure you, calm you down. As you are doing those ones, you can now go back to the ones that you've forgotten. Over time, you will remember.
I think I can relate. When I was writing my work, I went into the hall for like 10 minutes in chemistry. I was blank. They had to take me out. And my chemistry teacher was like, Abu, you of all people, you know. Shout out to him of blessed memory. And the moment I got back, and you know, of course I did I had a B2 in chemistry. But now there is this popular saying, I've heard it a whole lot from a lot of people, even via our Vox Pop, we heard that intelligence comes from a mother's side. That when you marry a woman who is intelligent, that you have chances of having kids that are intelligent. So how true it is? Because I've had people really tell me that when they say a child is intelligent, they say no, that means the mother is intelligent, that men don't have that level of IQ compared to women. So how true is that myth? So let's clear that. How true is it from a doctor's perspective that if a child is intelligent, 80% comes from the mother?
Well, kind of. It is not scientifically proven, but I will want to lean on that assertion a bit. Now, this is the reason. Parents are the first teachers in a child's life.
Okay.
Fathers are known to be providers, protectors. Mothers are the foundation, the pillars of the family. They spend more time with the children. So, if the woman spends more time with the child is more likely to learn from the mother more than learning from the father. But things are changing now. If you see all this tech bro and all of that, these are the major fathers you will have now. They work from home. So the child is likely to spend more time with the father now, unlike what we have before. So it is whoever spends more time with the child that will impact the child more. But it is important that both of them have to agree that academic excellence is important in that family. So you can have a family, maybe the father is smart, the mother is not so, and the father is telling them, read your book. The mother is saying, don't read your book. They will lean towards the mother and say, the father is wicked, the mother is a nice person. So they can lean towards one or the other. But it is not hard and fast through. You know, the parenting style is important.
It's important.
One mother can wake up in the morning, you watch one soap opera in the morning, watch another one in the afternoon, another at night. Why another? You can have the mother coming back from work and the mother gets a storybook and say, oh, Junior, I bought a storybook for you. Read it and come and tell me the story. That child will learn more about, will develop reading habits. You know, the grammatical expression will be better. You know, the use of words and everything. So, the parenting style
we have. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Idea that
Thank you. Thank you.
See, so those people who think it's only the fat people that snore. You see now, some slim people snore. You sure they snore for more than. So they have short. What did you say? They have short
REM sleep.
So it is well. Dr. Calvin is launching a book in respect of this. He's put this together with his experience, and it's coming up on Sunday. So if you want to know more, you can reach out to us. You can get the phone number on your screen, and we'll get back to you. Just send "I'm interested" in the book, and we'll definitely get across to you. Okay? Just put "I am interested" on our SMS line, and we'll get back to you. On that note, once again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
From Biju Industries, we have the water and the energy drink here.
Thank you.
To boost your energy.
Video Industries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
You really gave me a broader idea of a lot of things that, yeah, it is. Thank you very much. Thank you to our wonderful viewers for being part of Family and Values. You know, this is what we talk about when you have to learn so many things you think you know. So for those of you that are having issues with your kids, go back, seek the doctor's attention, and of course, you get a better this thing. We'll see you tomorrow as it's Friday. Of course, tomorrow is going to be Friday where you now be relaxing. My name still remains Joy Abu. Have a blessed Thursday.
Okay, on that note, because you are starting, don't compare yourself with somebody who has started already. You are just starting. So take your start first before you start going into. You don't need to compete. You heard the doctor. When you get to the class, just look above. You know, see yourself, I'm better than this person. No, I'll get the highest mark. So it's a way of encouraging yourself. I wish you the very best of today. My name is Remy Nolori Adejoke Adubidevi. Thank you to all our crew, from the MCR to all our bosses right here in the studio. Our topic for tomorrow is, can a cheating partner still be in love with the spouse? Can a cheating partner still be in love? Okay, we'll be discussing that tomorrow. I'm sure you'll not want to miss that. Join us. I would love to see you. Have a splendid day and stay tuned for the next program.